Hello. Okay. Hello. I am Annalisa from Stitchcraft Marketing, and this is our monthly office hours where we give you a nice little tidbit of stuff that you need to know. So today we are talking about give content. And if you don't have, the time to listen to this all at once, of course, we have multiple references for you to engage with this and absorb it however way is best for you. So we also have this set up as a newsletter. Back up. There we go. Trying to get my windows set up. So we have this set up as on our blog, a full overview of everything that we're talking about here. Now, when we talk about give content, we're going to talk about everything from what you learn, why you need it, the different types that are out there, because, give content is not all the same. There's not one single thing that you need to do, just like there's not one single way to run your business. There's not one single thing to do for give content. And then how you can use that give content to really make it work for you in your business. Because we don't just want to throw it out there and then not have them come back to you, right? We got to make it tie back into you and your awesomeness, your business, your sales proposition. We got to make it lead back to that point. So in general, give content is we always like to talk about the know, like, trust funnel. If people know you, then they'll like you, then they'll trust you, and they will trust your products, your business, your services. So you have to have those other things in place before you can get to that, gold pod at the end of the rainbow. We got to have other things in place before we make the sale. So give content is exactly what it says. You are giving away something for free. So that means it is not gated content. So gated content is that something that they have to give you something in order for you to give it to them. So whether that's money, their email address, whatever, give content is entirely free. And a lot of, when we talk with our clients, when we talk with, people at shows and conventions, and when we teach people, there's always this resistance to give content, because in fairness, and in a lot of our industries, we get devalued, and they're like, well, I don't want to give away stuff for free, like my time is valuable. We agree. Give content is a very specific thing that you can do, and it has a role to play within your business. So if the content requires a purchase of any sort, whether that's monetary or engagement, that is you giving them their email address, it is not necessarily give content. So we recommend for figuring out your give content, we recommend a ratio of about 6 to 8 pieces of content to one piece of selling content. So if you're aiming for, if you're building your strategy for the month, or the quarter, or your ads, or whatever you're doing, you want to have about 6 to 8 things that are informational, give content, something, and then one promotional content for yourself. So if you have your newsletter and you're working on it, and these can be different things. Remember, give content can also be inspirational. So you could have a beautiful photo that will still count as a type of give content, guys. You don't have to come up with, 6 different patterns for every one time you make a sale. We're not trying to make you work that hard. This is not that. Okay. So if you're building your newsletter, you have 6 things that are helpful, informative, educational, to your ideal customer, and then one piece at the end that is a self-promotional thing. So six things that help them, one thing that helps you. So think of that. When we were doing give content, why do we want to do it? Because we know that we're the boss, right? But give content is a way that we are showing people that we are the boss. It also shows people that, yes, we are generous. You want to engage with our business because, look, you already got this little tidbit here. Imagine what you could get when you engage with the full scope of our business. It builds your community, because if you have people coming to you that say, oh, hey, I just got this really cool thing from Calico House and it's a really cool program, I think I'm going to go see what their other classes are. That is a word of mouth marketing. You're building community around a little bit of information, around, something that is, again, in the end, results in promotions for you, but is something that is free and valuable to your consumer. And it makes you valuable beyond the services you sell. This is a little bit of a hard thing to think about, because a lot of the times, if we are a product-based business, or we are a service-based business, especially for product based, it's very easy to say, well, this is worth this much because this is my cost and this is, what the going rate is in the industry. But it's really hard to value goodwill, right? But we all know that there are businesses that we engage with because we like them, because we like how they do business. We like things that they've said. We like the information that they give us. We know that we have people out there that are like, oh yeah, I remember them. They may not be the cheapest. They're not, we just had Prime Day. They're not the big box store prices, but I like them because they do all these other things for me. So that sticks in people's heads and gives you an additional value to your business, to your community. The other thing too is that even if you feel, we always talk about SEO, and SEO is again search engine optimization. So even if you feel like no one's seeing it right away, Google does. Google is reading it. The little web trawlers are reading it, and they're helping you rank higher when people search for other things. If you have informational content that you're putting out there and you're like, no one read that post, no one left me any comments, I'm just not going to do these anymore. Google's reading it. So don't underestimate the value of having other eyeballs on it or the long-term implications of it. So a lot of the when we think about give content, there's different styles and different things that you can do. Tutorials are a very, very big thing that, especially in the craft industry, people go to, and there's a reason why. Tutorials convert. Let's just be honest there. If you can have a well presented tutorial and where you are either, everybody has their own style, where you are personable, where it's well explained, where it shows something that is something that your customer just needs to know, especially if you can tie it back into a project, your tutorial is going to do a lot of work for you. It is going to be a reference. It is going to pull people into your website. So places for tutorials, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, video is huge, especially with, a lot of our crafts are with our hands. If you can get one of those nice little overhead holders for your camera, they're not very expensive. You can get very reasonably priced ones. And then show how you do a specific technique. That will be very, very helpful. If you want to take pictures of doing that technique and have it, you're not comfortable doing video, you want to set up the shots and explain it underneath, that is perfectly fine. You do not have to do video. You just outline the technique and explain it well. It again goes back into promoting you as the authority. We are talking about this technique for this project that we're running, this knit along that we're hosting, this new kit that we're presenting. And I'm going to tell you, this is my little extra for you. You know that thing that we talked about on page 3? Here's the video of me doing it. How helpful and how much of an upsell would that be to your customer if they know that they have a video tutorial that goes along with like a tricky step that they're just not sure about? I was like, if me as a consumer, I'd be interested in that. I would like some extra little video help. When you tie, so I talked about this a little bit. So the other thing too is that if you can tie it back into things that you are already doing, the things that make you the sales, that is going to be more effective for you. And I think also it's going to make you feel better on the inside that you're not just doing this and throwing it, it's not a spaghetti at the wall moment. You are doing this for a purpose. You are tying it back into a important part of your business, something that is making other sales. So we have some examples as we go through things about how some of our clients and people in the industry have worked to provide meaningful give content and effective give content for their consumers, for their community. So we have Imagine Landscapes, which is a knitwear designer. So this is what I was talking about. She does specific tutorials on YouTube, which is a great platform. If you're not on there, you should be. Specific tutorials for her paid patterns. And then she does that atomization. So she chunks it. She takes those long form tutorials and makes little shorties that she can put in other social media places like reels that on Meta properties. We can use TikTok things. We can make them YouTube shorts. We can use them other places. And the atomization is always great because you're not really duplicating your efforts. You have a little bit more time in on video editing, but you are not having to set up all over again. You're not having to remake your samples all over again. It's not again, again, again. You are taking one thing and you are using it several places. We love atomization. We love tutorials. Information is a type of give content. So I think a lot of people go into the idea of, well, I can't explain everything every time. I don't have time to write a tutorial every time. You are the expert, right? People come to your business. You know your business back, front, sideways. Your information, your brain is valuable. Giving people the information that you have in your brain is a form of give content. So that can be showcasing your favorites, how I used this to get my results, how this is my new stuff that I just got in that I'm really excited about. You can have information that is technique based. It was like, okay, so this is how the difference between the two different stitches that we have for English paper piecing. This is how I started out knitting continental, and then I decided that this didn't work for this project, so I had to switch back. Like there's different things that you can put out there that are you just either talking, writing, explaining information, explaining historical content. This is what a Baltimore album is, and this is why it's cool. There's lots of things you can do that all of that would be considered give content. So information, if you have an information or you are the expert in a particular little part, don't be afraid to share that. You can put that out there and make it very reasonable and very accessible for your people. Some other things. So this is an example of giving out information. So the EGA, they have, so that's the Embroidery Guild of America. Obviously, there is a long history with embroidery across the world, and there are tons of different techniques, tons of different stitches, different things to do. So they have a really cool series that they do, that they link and share the history of different stitches, of different techniques. So, for example, they have the hardanger stitching. They have links to books in there that are for more information. Look at these books. Here's an overview. Here's examples with pictures. So it may take a minute to put together, but that SEO ranking is going to be high. They're linking back to things that they sell, like their books. They're being a primary source for people that are starting out or trying to find them, and they're giving people ways to engage beyond purchasing at first glance. They are being a give information point in their community. So if you want to take a look at what you offer, take a look at things that you have coming up. Are there informational posts that you can make? Are there things that are happening in current events that you can tie into it? For example, there is a new dinosaur that was discovered. Do you have any dinosaur fabric? There you go. There's a current event. Let's tie that in for all of the people who wanted to be paleontologists when they were little. There are different things you can do that you can look outside of yourself. You can look outside of your business and then tie it in that way. Give content. This is so free projects and downloads are probably the #1 thing that people think of with give content. There is a place for it, and it should not be discounted. But again, we've showed you that you can give information, you can give tutorials, you can reuse content in different ways. Do not feel that this is the only thing that you have to do. It is very effective. Just gonna put it out there. Having an ebook, blogs, we always talk about blogs when we talk with clients. Newsletters can count as free information. So free projects, downloads, we have clients that do things like if you sign up for a newsletter, you get a free pattern. That would be an example of give content. It is great for bringing people into your website and boosting your visibility. So again, the newsletter leads is one that happens and people use often. And it shows, especially if it is a pattern, if you are a pattern designer or a shop or something like that, it also gives that little, what do you want to call it? It gives it a little bit of proof about this is what I can expect for them. They do really cool things. This is something that is useful. This is something that I understand. They know what they're talking about. I can follow along with it. So yes, free projects, downloads, information like that. That is a great piece of give content. So when we look at some of our clients, some examples of this, so Brown Sheep Company hosts a knit along every spring, and so you can download the free shawl pattern, and it's just all you have to do is sign up for your newsletter registration. So you can use patterns that sign up for smaller projects, and then they can move to a bigger project. You can have free ebooks, or in the industry speak, they would be called like lead pages and all sorts of different things. So if you ever see something like that, that's what you're talking about. So project checklists, things that would be, if you're doing a knit along, quilt along, sew along, something that helps people get started before they do get involved in the knit along, sew along. So one sheet informations, easy patterns, all sorts of stuff. The other thing that I think people don't think about as much, or they haven't tried, let's put it that way, they haven't tried, um, a consultation, especially in the land of, a couple years ago where people weren't able to get into shops if you were a brick and mortar shop, or you weren't able to get into a show because the show shut down. Being able to offer a consultation, whether in person or virtual, is a great way to give content. Maybe you have someone that is like, you can schedule a custom shopping thing and you can have a dedicated expert for half an hour that helps you plan out your next project. Maybe it's some time to have a half an hour to, teach one particular thing. Is like, okay, I need to learn German short rows and I don't understand. Like, I need half an hour of that. That can be a really easy way to get people in. And again, if you're new starting out, gets people to know you, trust you, demonstrates your expertise. So consultations are a really great way to give content in a different way, where you're not giving away really anything other than your time. If you feel like you don't have the brain space to build a blog right now, which we can help you with, by the way. If you don't have the brain space to build a tutorial, do all the things, film editing, set up some consultations, see if that'll get some people in to talk with you, get some people in to help remind them that you're out there, you're there for them. So here's another example of specifically for some of our machine clients. A lot of our machine dealers do this, where if you buy a machine for us, their give content is that they get free sewing classes as part of supporting of learning that machine. So they're having a larger purchase, and so they are doing something like an extended sewing class. So that would be a larger give content. But again, it goes with a larger purchase. Online sessions. So this would be a sort of a twist on the consultation. Instead of doing one-on-one, if you feel like, okay, I would love to do consultations, I would love to talk with my community, if it fills up too full and you get people that are like, I really wanted to come, but I couldn't get a spot. You're like, okay, well, let's do some online sessions so we can have that one-on-one interaction, or we can have interaction that is going, and we also have other people involved, other people get a chance. So online hangouts like sit and stitches and all of the live streaming things. There's different ways to do it to have that, Sunday sew-ins. You can use it different ways to create a different sort of give content where you're engaging with your people. So here's an example with Crochet Foundry where they do the sit and stitch sessions, where they just gather and craft together. So you see, it is she's in her knitting space, her crochet space, everything is out on the table. We have it, it's a regular place. You don't have to have a studio set up to do this. You can have a regular computer camera. You can have a regular home environment. Crafting gets messy. Don't be afraid of having, your little piles of trimmings on the table. So you can do this and host things in a low stress, casual way. Do we have any questions? I'm going to stop sharing at the moment, and then we'll see if we have any other questions.